All right, today we're going to be taking a look at how to use sky replacement actually to make selections and combine several images. So what we're going to try to go from is this shot, which includes a plane shot of the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower in Paris. We want to combine them until they look like this. So we're going to both replace the sky as well as combine these two images. Now, geographically, I know that this isn't possible, but we're doing it for the visual. So in this case, I'm going to come over and let's go ahead and start this process. So first I want to go through and I'm going to remove the sky from each of these images. So I'm going to select the first layer and go to my edit, or actually my select, and go to sky. So select and sky, and see how good of a job that does. Now it does a pretty great job around all the edges, but you can see there's a little bit right here it didn't get. So I'm going to make sure I have my quick selection tool. The W key will bring that up. Come over here, make sure that my brush is nice and small. I don't want it too big because I'm just going to try to fix this little area. So I'm going to zoom in a little ways, and I can see that it's accidentally grabbed this. I'm going to zoom down with my bracket key to a smaller brush size, hold my Option key so it's subtracting from the selection, and I'm just going to click and drag along here to try to remove that. And that actually did a pretty great job. Pulled out that selection pretty quick. So you can use any other selection tools that you need to. Oops, accidentally undid too much there, but I could zoom way in, use a smaller brush, and just come along here and clean that edge up just a touch so that that is much cleaner looking. So Command 0, and now I've got a nice clean selection. So let's go ahead and mask. I come down to my mask and I hit the mask tool. That eliminates, oops, too much. It actually eliminated the shot that we wanted. So I can either undo that, in which case I'd want to come down here and actually hold the Option key while I add the mask, and that will subtract the sky from this. So if I turn off the layer beneath, you'll see that that subtracted the sky. The other way to do it, if I forgot that Option key and I actually just added the mask, and I see, oh no, that actually masked the whole thing out, I can just select that mask and invert it with Command I, and that will invert the mask. So now only the sky is missing from this shot. Let's go and do the same thing to our Eiffel Tower. I'm going to grab my Eiffel Tower, do my select, sky, and it does an amazing job at grabbing the sky. Now I could zoom in here and try to clean up some of these places. So I'm going to hold my Option key and remove some of this here because it seems to think some of these things are the sky. So I'm just going to remove those. Option key is removing from the selection, and I can use any of my select tools to do that. So I'm just going to hold my Option key down and paint over some of these things because that's not actually sky. It just looked really similar. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove all of those things. And that's looking pretty good. Go through and remove these last couple. Good. So now once I've got my sky selection dialed in, I'm just eliminating anything that's not sky here. I can try to smooth that out a little bit, and maybe even smooth this guy out a little bit. Again, if your tool is the wrong size, then oops, you're going to accidentally get rid of things. So just hold your Shift key down and you can reselect the parts that you need. And there, feels like we're doing a lot better. And I want to select a little bit more of that sky, so I hold my Shift key down. And otherwise, that's looking pretty good. So Command 0 brings us back, and again, we need to mask this. So if we come down and we mask, you'll see it'll actually mask out the wrong thing. So I'm going to undo, and I'm going to Option click that mask, which will make a mask with black over all the selections. So now that is gone. So I can turn this other one on, and I can see now we're getting closer. So if I want to resize the Eiffel Tower to fit, I need to make sure I select the Eiffel Tower. It'll be surrounded with a little highlight box here. Command T will put us into transform mode, and I'm going to pull this down, but you notice if you grab a corner and you pull it down, it's going to move towards the opposite corner. If you hold the Option key down, it actually shrinks it around the center point. So if you hold the Option key down, you can now pull this down until that Eiffel Tower is going to mostly sit in the empty space. And then I'm just going to drag this and bring this down and tuck it in the background. It'd be nice if it was a little bigger, so I'm going to hold the Option key, blow it up just a little bit, and let's move that up to fill in the gaps. It looks pretty good there, and it's pretty recognizable as the Eiffel Tower and with the Arc de Triomphe. Now, problem is we got a big old boring empty sky. So let's select our main layer. So we're going to select the layer with the Arc de Triomphe. And with the Arc de Triomphe selected, now I'm going to go to my Edit, Sky Replacement. And when I bring that up, you'll see that it pops up these skies, and I'm going to click open a little sky box And we could go and look for some of these other options. There's a lot of beautiful choices here. I like the sunset options. Let me turn off the blue skies. There's some spectacular ones. Oh, that's really pretty. But you'll notice it is covering up that Eiffel Tower in the background. So if I choose one of these, I really kind of like this purple sky. I'm going to go with that and hit OK. It creates a whole new set of layers with a new sky, with a mask, and the edge lighting all dialed in. So if I close that up, it looks great, but I obviously want the Eiffel Tower down here, Eiffel Tower, to be in front of that sky. So no problem. I can simply click on this layer and drag it down behind the Eiffel Tower. And now the Eiffel Tower being in front of it gives us that nicely masked Eiffel Tower. We've got the Arc de Triomphe in front of it. And we have this beautiful sky replacement, creating a new sky all around it and bringing them all together. So that looks beautiful. Nice little use of masks, inverting masks, and sky replacement, as well as cleaning up some of our edges. Looking very cool. And we'll see you on the next one.